Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about blanketing. Blanketing is something that isn't an exact science, and many professionals have different styles and opinions when it comes to blanketing. This video will cover some basics so that you have an idea of what your horse may need this winter. Before we get into the different types of blankets, it's important for you to understand your horse's natural way of staying warm. When the days start to get shorter and winter approaches, your horse will start to grow its winter coat. Their hair becomes thicker and longer, and it begins to stand up away from their skin. Their bodies also produce natural oils, which provide another natural layer of insulation. These conditions allow your horse's body heat to stay trapped between the raised hairs and the skin. Now that you understand your horse's natural ways of staying warm during the winter, we can talk about the different blankets you may need. There are two main categories of blankets, which are turnout blankets and stable blankets. The first one we'll talk about is stable blankets. As you'll see in this example from the Dover website, stable blankets are more of a quilted material. These blankets are not meant to be worn outside. They may be more breathable, but they are not waterproof or durable, and they would not withstand any kind of horseplay or the elements. The second category of blankets is turnout blankets, which are meant to be worn outdoors as they have been waterproofed by professionals. They can be re-waterproofed if they end up getting damaged, and they consist of a more durable, less breathable fabric. This makes them ideal to be worn in the winter months because it's going to protect them from the snow and the rain. It's going to keep them warm and dry. The next thing you'll need to understand is the weight of your blanket. Both stable blankets and turnout blankets can contain fill, which will determine the overall warmth and weight of the blanket. The more fill that the blanket has, the warmer it will be. This can be compared to your own winter jacket. The more fill it has, the more insulated it will keep you. All of your body heat will be trapped within the fill. The amount of fill in your blanket will be listed in grams either on the blanket itself or in the packaging so that you know how warm it will be before buying it. Blankets are usually divided into three main categories based on their weight. Those categories are lightweight blankets and sheets, medium or midweight blankets, and heavyweights. The first category we'll cover are lightweight blankets and sheets, as pictured next on My Horse Mo. Lightweights and sheets are usually about 100 grams of fill. You can compare them to your own lightweight raincoat. It'll protect you from the elements, but it won't have any major fill to keep you really warm in the really cold conditions. They're usually used when conditions start to change and it gets too cold for your horse to go outside without anything at all, but it's not cold enough to put them in something heavier. Next, we'll talk about medium or midweight blankets. Mediums typically have 150 to 300 grams of fill. Some midweight blankets can keep horses comfortable in temperatures as low as 20 degrees, but this can vary depending on the quality of the blanket and your horse's needs. Some horses will only need a midweight blanket for the entirety of the winter months depending on their needs and where they live, but most require added weight and warmth in worse conditions. The last category of blankets is heavyweight blankets, which provides the most warmth and weight. Heavyweight blankets can contain 300 to 450 grams of fill and are needed for more extreme weather conditions such as heavy snow and wind, freezing rain, or bitter cold. They can also be used for horses who are fully or partially clipped and need extra blanketing management, or for horses who are more sensitive to freezing conditions. Now that you know about your blanketing options, Lauren is going to talk to you about how you get the right fit for your horse.
Hi, this is Lauren and Marny again, and we will be going over blanketing. We are going to go from the middle of his chest, not from the point of shoulder, but from the middle of his chest, in between his front legs, all the way across his body to the end of his hind quarter. And you can do this with a measuring tape, or you can do this with some baling twine. Then you will want to take whatever measurement that is in inches, like 72 for example, and that is going to be the size of blanket that you purchase. So this horse here, he is about a 75 or a 76. Any longer will hang off of him, off of his back end, and any shorter will prevent his hind end from getting any full coverage.
Now that you know what size blanket your horse will need, we'll go over the safest way to put the blanket on and take it off.
So, to put on a blanket, you want to fold it so that you don't have to parachute it over the horse's back. You can place it on his back and unfold it forward. Just like that. And now you want to buckle the front straps want to buckle the front straps in the event that the horse does get loose and starts running around. The blanket is not attached to his hind legs. Instead, it is attached to his front and stays relatively in place. Now, we can settle the blanket a little bit and reach underneath to these surcingles, which we will cross under his belly. And then we will grab the other one to cross to the front. With the hind limb straps, this one should cross between his hind legs to the other side of the blanket. And then we can reach under and cross this one that is on the other side to this side here, forming an X with the blanket straps between his back legs.
As a recap, to safely put on your horse's blanket, you're going to fold it into halves or thirds so that you're not parachuting it over their back and spooking them. Then you're going to gently place it over their back and unfold it. You're always going to fasten the front straps first in case your horse gets loose, and that'll help the blanket stay on over their neck and not get tangled around their legs. Number 5, you're going to crisscross the belly straps or the surcingles. And 6, you're going to carefully fasten the hind end straps. As always, you're going to be very careful around the hind end of the horse, and if you're concerned about it, get a barn owner, trainer, or experienced adult to do that for you. The last segment in this video is safely removing the blanket. Lauren is going to walk you guys through that process now.
To undo the blanket, we're going to do the exact same process in the reverse order. So we're going to start with these back straps. This is again to prevent the blanket from flailing around his body in the event that he does get free. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it back against his body and slowly pull it off.